Hey, y'all, and welcome to another episode of MIA. I'm your host. I'm Nikki says you only live once, so we have three special guests today. So, South Florida is more than beaches and brunches. It's where family, community, and compassion come together. And now it's also where an extraordinary collaboration is changing lives four legs at a time. Today's conversation is about love, that real, unconditional, tail wagging kind of love. South Florida's animal shelters are facing a tipping point, but an unprecedented statewide movement is stepping in with hope and heart. Now, let's joining us today is we're going to be discussing this life changing mission with Zachary Rinkins. He's the public information officer with Broward County Animal Care. Also, Sherry Watcher. She is vice president of marketing for the Humane Society of Broward County. And also joining is Cassie Shelby, marketing and communications manager for the Humane Society of Greater Miami. Now, let's welcome all three of our guests today. How are y'all feeling today?
We are doing great. Good to be with you.
Doing great. Yeah,
Keep
thank
you cool
you.
in that Florida heat.
Yes.
Hot.
Very hot today.
Very hot every day. Okay.
Yep.
So, Zachary, let's start with you. Let's talk about the moment we're in. So, Broward shelter system, like so many across the state, is overwhelmed. What's driving this crisis and what's at stake if we don't act now?
All right. I think that's a tremendous question, Nikki, and thank you so much for having us on your show. But basically, our shelter, Broward County Animal Care, we've recently just had to contend with 50% overcrowding. And so we're in a situation where our capacity for dogs is roughly 109. Our capacity for cats is about 120. We've seen as many as 160 dogs in our capacity. We've also seen as many as 190 cats in our capacity as well. And so what's driving that is basically there are over 1 million animals in Broward County alone. And then when you also consider that summer, as the weather gets hotter, a lot of the kittens and the cats, they consider that an aphrodisiac. And so they use the heat as an opportunity to connect with other cats and bring in another generation. And so that kind of also stimulates a growth and uptick in our shelters. And so this is a thing that a lot of shelters across the country are contending with. And so what we do in moments like this is create partnerships. It's really going to take a partnership from throughout South Florida to really combat this in a major way. So we're coming together as a part of the Petco Love mega adoption event. We're inviting the community on Saturday, June 28th at Treetops Park for this free adoption event. And you'll see some of my partners here on this show today.
So, Sherry, this question is for you. So, what are some of the most common misconceptions about shelter pets that might keep people from adopting, especially in our communities?
Well, unfortunately, I think some people are afraid to go to a shelter. They think it's a really sad place and they just don't want to experience that sadness. They say they can't go in because they're going to cry. Well, you need to go in because those animals are relying on people to adopt them. I also think some people think, oh, they can't get a specific breed in an animal shelter, or they only want a puppy, or they only want a small dog, or they only want kittens. Well, you know what, folks? All our shelters have all of those. You just have to be persistent. And if you don't see something the first time you visit, come back again because we all have websites. At the Humane Society of Broward County, our website is updated about every 2 hours, every single day of the week. So it's constantly changing. So, I would encourage people, go to the shelter, see what there is. And if our shelter doesn't have something or one of the other shelters don't, there's a website called Pet Finder, and you can register with what you're looking for. Or if you want a specific breed, you can put in the breed, you can put in your zip code, and then every shelter, if you're willing to drive 500 miles with a dog or a cat matching that profile, is going to pop up. And I'm confident that one of the shelters that's participating in the mega adoption event is going to have that type of pet. And again, if you don't see it today, don't say I have to have a dog today or a cat today. Give it a chance. Visit the shelters and make a difference.
Yeah, and show up on June 28th at Treetop Park. You never know. You just never know.
Absolutely. Many of
Yeah.
our Broward County parks are pet friendly. So they create an opportunity for the whole family to enjoy recreation and space here in Broward County.
With everybody, the pets included. So, Sherry, what are some tips or tools for first time pet parents who might feel overwhelmed or unsure?
So I think one of the most important things is before you get a pet, you need to sit down as a family to make sure that everyone's on board. And just because mom wants a kitten and dad and the kids want a puppy, and mom's going to be ultimately the one taking care of it, I think we have to vote for what mom wants. So it's really, it should be a family decision. I always tell people bring the whole family to the shelter when you're going to adopt, because again, we want to make sure the pet is the right match for you and your family. If you are a family that enjoys watching movies and playing video games, you might want to consider getting an adult pet that is going to hang out on the couch and not want to go like run around the block 10 times, like 3 times a day. So you really need to look at your lifestyle. And a lot of the shelters have their adoption counselors and the volunteers that volunteer there. They can sort of guide you into what would be a good match for your family. So once you get that pet, there's lots of resources at the Humane Society of Broward County. We have our website, humanebroward.com. There's all types of resources available as far as how to introduce your new pet, if you need help potty training your dog, if your dog jumps, maybe some ideas on how to curtail that. And then we also offer puppy preschool classes as well as dog obedience classes. So we really want to help you succeed with your new pet.
Okay. And Zachary, so break it down for us. What's the cost to adopt at this event and what's included in the process?
Well, all of the four partners, the Humane Society of Greater Miami, the Humane Society of Broward County, Miami-Dade Animal Services, and us, Broward County Animal Care, we're all waiving our cost. And so all the residents have to pay is just basically their pet registration fees. And so that's the only cost that's there. In terms of the process, if you like a puppy, you fall in love with a dog there, you can go home with that dog. And so we all have a commitment. We all sterilize all of our animals. In addition to sterilizing them, we vaccinate them so their vaccinations are up to date. And they also have a microchip. And so, as Sherry said earlier, we see ourselves as partners in your pet parent journey. And so there's also resources available. If you find yourself running into hard times, you can come to Broward County Animal Care and get food and resources. If you need a cage or you need an enclosure to enclose your animal in a particular space, we provide that resources well for the community. And we also have partnerships with organizations like the Pet Project. Well, if you pick certain pets, you get free medical care for the life of that particular pet, food for life for that particular pet. So there are a lot of resources to really support your pet parent journey. And I have to say our website is broward.org/animal.
Okay. And let's close it out. So, Cassie, what's your message to that person watching who thinks they can't adopt, but just might have room in their heart?
Well, you can adopt, I will tell you that. We have plenty of cuties here that you can adopt, but I do want to say that I know that some people are hesitant to adopt, maybe it be finances or whatever the situation is at home. And here at the Humane Society of Greater Miami, we offer a pet retention program. So if for some reason you cannot afford to get your dog food, we have a pantry that you can come in and get food for your pet for the community. We try to really help keep the pets in their home. So we have a lot of different programs to really assist with that. We also offer low cost clinic services, so vaccinations, spay and neuter services, low cost to the community to help them get a pet in their home. So if you're hesitant to adopt just because of finances, we've got you. We can help you with that. And ultimately, we want the dog or cat to find a loving home that they can spend the rest of their lives in. So that's our goal, to keep them there with you.
Right. Well, thank you all so much. Looking forward to it. June 28th, 9 a.m., Treetop Park in Broward County. Thanks again for what you're doing for our pet-friendly friends. And yeah, we'll see you soon, June 28th. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.